The biggest mistake in thinking is believing we think. Most people just react. Without realizing their thoughts, beliefs, and decisions are trapped in patterns made by others. This is the real start of critical thinking. When you put your own thinking on trial, it's a journey that takes you from surface reality to depth of awareness. Every chapter will upgrade your mind to a new level, like updating your mind's software. So let's start critical thinking, the complete masterclass. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll explore the illusions that shape our minds, the perceptions that define our reality, the belief patterns that guide us, and the biases that twist our logic. We'll dive into the power of questions, the rewiring of our cognitive paths, the interconnectedness of systems, the multiple dimensions of perspective, the dance of reason and paradox, the limits of evidence, the transcendence of intellect, and the awakening of an aware mind. If you enjoy this journey, like, subscribe, and comment on the next video's topic. Your opinion is precious to us. Let's begin. Mind under illusion. Mind under illusion. We often think we think by choice. But the truth is, most times we're trapped in the illusion of thinking. Our thoughts are so deeply influenced by upbringing, society, media, and experiences that we don't even realize if the ideas in our minds are truly ours. This is mind under illusion. When the mind feels free but is actually bound by invisible chains. From childhood, we're taught what's right and wrong. But no one teaches us why. Not asking why slowly turns us into programmed thinkers. We believe what we hear repeatedly. We see what fits our belief system and ignore the rest. This process is called confirmation bias. The mind seeks things that prove its pre-existing views. For example, if someone believes the world is bad, they'll only notice events that reinforce that thought. Positive things vanish from their sight. The most dangerous part of mind under illusion is it convinces a person to trust their own thinking. When your mind accepts a narrative as true, it defends that truth, even if it's entirely false. This is why debates never end and people fear changing their views. They think if their belief is wrong, their identity will crumble. But the truth is, a wise person isn't one who is always right, but one ready to learn, even when proven wrong. When we start recognizing the illusion of thought, real thinking begins. This is the moment you question every thought. Is this my own conclusion? Or was it planted by someone else? This kind of thinking is uncomfortable because illusion is always comfortable. But as soon as you let go of that comfort, your mind expands. You start seeing things not linearly but in multiple dimensions. Every person's mind works like a filter machine, selecting only a few pieces from millions of information bits every second. This selection depends on your conditioning. So the world you see isn't a reflection of absolute reality, but a projection of your filters. This is why two people see the same event differently, one as an opportunity, another as a threat. Truth stays the same. The difference is perception. Understanding mind under illusion is the first and most crucial step of critical thinking. Until you accept your thinking might be flawed, you can't become a true thinker. Real thinking starts where ego ends, and ego is always fed by illusion. So next time a thought enters your mind, don't accept it as truth instantly. Observe it, test it, and ask, is this my consciousness's voice or an echo of conditioning? This question will lead you from illusion to clarity. Perception of reality. Perception of reality. What we see isn't always what it truly is. Our eyes catch light, but seeing is the mind's job. This is perception, a mental process where our thoughts, experiences, fears, and hopes create a personal version of reality. When two people witness the same event and draw completely different conclusions, it's not because the event differed, but because their perceptions did. Every person sees through the lens of their mind, and that lens defines their world. To understand perception, know that our mind is a storyteller. It turns every incomplete piece into a full story to make sense of it. When information is missing, the mind fills gaps with past experiences. This is why two people can interpret the same behavior differently. One sees honesty, another sees arrogance. Both are based on perception, not truth. This is the subtle illusion that convinces us we're seeing reality. Another aspect is selective attention. Our mind is flooded with millions of pieces of information every second, but focuses only on what matches our beliefs and emotions. So to one person, the world feels hostile. To another, inspiring. Both are right, but within their own perception. If perception remains limited, so does thinking. A critical thinker challenges their perception, expands it, and learns to see things from multiple angles. Reality itself is neutral, neither good nor bad. It's the perception that interprets it. A critical mind knows every perception is a construct, not a final truth. When you grasp this, you stop judging and start observing, not reacting. This is where awareness begins. When you see things as they are, not as you want them to be. Changing perception isn't easy. It requires observing your thoughts, fears, and beliefs repeatedly. You must recognize that what you hold as true might just be a perceptual illusion. And this understanding is the true power of critical thinking, seeing beyond perception. Take a moment to reflect. How often do you assume your view is the only valid one? Try stepping into someone else's shoes. Notice how their lens shifts the picture. This practice alone can widen your mental horizon, making you less rigid and more open to growth. Patterns of belief. Patterns of belief. Every person has a web of beliefs woven so deep and complex they don't even know where their thoughts come from. These patterns of belief control our thinking, decisions, and behavior. What we believe shapes our world. But sadly, most beliefs stem not from truth, but from repetition and conditioning. Things heard in childhood, family views, societal traditions, all plant seeds of belief that take root over time. We stop questioning them because they feel safe. Beliefs are a psychological shortcut. They save us from analyzing every new situation. But this convenience slowly closes us off. When you treat a belief as absolute truth, your mind shuts the door to new ideas. This is the mental trap most people stay in. They think they know, but they only believe. Belief patterns act like filters, molding every incoming piece of information to fit their limits. If something contradicts a belief, the mind either rejects it or twists it into something comfortable. This is called cognitive dissonance. When new truth clashes with old beliefs, the mind denies it. For example, if someone believes the world is selfish, they'll seek proof to support that view. Even if helped, they'll find hidden motives. This way, their belief self-validates, narrowing their perception over time. This is why changing beliefs is so hard. They've become identity. A critical thinker understands belief isn't a symbol of absolute reality, but a mental construct, a lens through which we see the world. So, they question every belief. Why do I hold this? Because it's true or because it's familiar? This question shakes the roots of beliefs. When we detach and observe them, we realize contradictory beliefs coexist within us, some inherited, some self-created. Recognizing belief patterns is the second step of critical thinking. Until you know what your thinking rests on, you can't change it. Real freedom comes when you can think without being bound by belief. When your mind views every idea with openness. This is the state where thinking rises above faith to become awareness, bringing you closer to truth. Let's pause here. What's one belief you've never questioned? Take a minute to ask why you hold it. This simple act can start unraveling the web. Bias within logic. Bias within logic. Logic teaches us thinking should always be fair. But the truth is, no thinking is entirely unbiased. Every person, no matter how smart, is influenced by some form of bias. This is bias within logic, when our mind operates on hidden prejudices even while believing it's logical. These biases are so subtle we don't even notice them. We think we're being objective, but our reasoning leans toward a pre-decided conclusion. Our mind naturally seeks shortcuts. Analyzing every piece of information and considering every perspective is hard work, so it chooses familiar paths. This is heuristic thinking. But this ease often breeds bias. For example, when we like someone, we overlook their flaws. When we dislike someone, even their good deeds seem suspicious. This is the halo effect and horn effect, results of emotional leanings we justify with logic. Confirmation bias is another form. We notice facts that support our views and ignore the rest. This is why debates rarely reach truth. Both sides present facts, but refuse to see their selection is biased. Thus, logic becomes a tool to defend ideas, not find truth. When logic is tainted by bias, its purpose shifts. It's used not to understand, but to win. This subtle shift is profound. Think how often we argue to prove we're right instead of discovering what's true. This is ego-driven logic, rational on the surface but biased within. A critical thinker recognizes these biases. They know unbiased thinking doesn't mean eliminating bias but identifying and reducing its impact. Such a person watches their every opinion. Am I thinking this because it's logical or because I want to be right? This question is hard but marks true intelligence. Being free of bias isn't possible, but being aware of it is. When you look within your thoughts and see where emotions creep into logic, clarity emerges. This clarity is the essence of critical thinking, elevating logic above bias so it becomes a means to seek truth, not just win arguments. Let's try an exercise. Next time you're in a disagreement, pause. Ask yourself what bias might be shaping your stance. This awareness can transform how you engage. The question matrix. The question matrix. Every great idea is born from a question. Questions are the key that unlocks the deepest doors of thinking. But the problem is, most people have forgotten how to ask. They accept what they're told, and that becomes their truth. This is where the question matrix's power emerges. When you realize every thought, belief, and perception exists as an answer to an unseen question. When questions stop, thinking stops, and with it, a person is caged in their own limits. Our education system taught us to give answers, not ask questions. Exams reward those who repeat what's preset. But real understanding comes when someone challenges that framework. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." A life without questions is a life without thinking. Questions are a mirror where thinking can see its limits. The power of a question lies in its direction, not its answer. When you ask, "Is this true?" the mind thinks to a limit. But when you ask, "Why do I feel this is true?" you start unraveling perception's layers. This is the real start of critical thinking, when questions turn inward. Understanding the question matrix means knowing every answer hides another question. Think. When you accept something as true, have you ever considered what thought drives that feeling? This layered thinking turns you into an inspector of your own mind. Gradually, you recognize which questions expand you and which limit you. Some questions confuse, others awaken. The difference is in perspective. An interesting fact, the mind can't ignore questions. Whenever one is asked, it activates to find an answer. This is why deep questions spark more thinking. Questions are the engine of thought. If they're small, thinking stays limited. But if they're uncomfortable, like "what if I'm wrong?" or "what if the world isn't as I think?" thinking expands. The question matrix teaches that questions are more valuable than answers. Answers stabilize you. Questions keep you dynamic. They remind you that truth isn't a point, but a journey. When you embark on this journey, you see not just the world but yourself from new perspectives. This is the state where thinking becomes exploration, not reaction. Let's practice. Ask yourself a tough question right now. Write it down and explore it for a minute. See where it takes you. Cognitive rewiring. Cognitive rewiring. The mind isn't a machine but a living system that reshapes itself with every experience, thought, and emotion. This process is called cognitive rewiring, when your mind abandons old thinking paths to create new ones. Our neural pathways, the roots of thought, strengthen with repeated ideas. If you think negatively daily, your mind wires itself that way, making that pattern habitual. But when you consciously decide to change your thinking, rewiring begins. The mind's greatest wonder is its neuroplasticity, its flexible nature. This means you can alter your mind's structure by changing your thoughts and habits. But this process isn't easy. Old thinking creates an illusion of safety. When you try to break it, you feel discomfort, fear, and resistance. This is where most people give up. But a critical thinker recognizes this discomfort as a sign of growth. The first step of cognitive rewiring is awareness, seeing where your thoughts are headed. Most think they control their thoughts, but in reality, thoughts control them. A thought arises and we drift with it. But when you pause to observe it, a distance forms. This distance marks rewiring's start. Next comes replacement. You establish a new thought in place of an old one. For example, if your belief is, "I can't do this," you slowly shift to, "I can try." At first it feels like a lie, but the mind accepts repetition as reality. Consistency is the key weapon here. The more you repeat new thoughts, the more new neural pathways form. Cognitive rewiring isn't just about changing thoughts. It transforms perception and emotions too. When your thoughts adopt new patterns, your emotions flow in that direction. This is why self-awareness is rewiring's most powerful tool. It helps you discern which thoughts are yours and which are borrowed. Over time, as you break free from old conditioning, your mind becomes more open, flexible, and creative. It stops reacting and starts thinking, analyzing, and exploring new perspectives. This is the essence of cognitive rewiring, tearing down old mental walls to build a new mental architecture. When this happens, you're driven not by limits, but by possibilities. This is the point where thinking becomes conscious, not mechanical. Try it. Pick one negative thought and replace it with a positive one daily for a week. Notice the shift. Systems of thought. Systems of thought. The mind typically thinks in pieces, one event, one cause, one result. But reality isn't that simple. Every thought, decision, and behavior is part of a system we don't fully grasp. This is systems of thought, the level of thinking where a person sees things not as separate, but as interconnected parts. As long as we view thinking linearly, we stay on the surface. But when we start thinking in systems, we understand every outcome has dozens of causes, and every cause hides dozens more. We often think a problem needs a straightforward solution, but in reality, problems are interdependent. Society, psychology, economy, and environment are all woven together. If you fix just one part, the whole system becomes imbalanced. Systems thinking teaches us that every decision has ripple effects. No thought is isolated. So a critical thinker never assumes simplicity, because simplicity is often a mask for complexity. To understand systems of thought, you must see the cycle of cause and effect. For example, if someone has a procrastination habit, it's not just laziness. Behind it lie self-doubt, fear of failure, low motivation, and mental fatigue. If you only target laziness, the real causes remain hidden. But if you view it as a system, you'll see it's an interconnected process, and only then can you change it. Systems thinking also gives us pattern recognition. When you see things as systems, recurring patterns emerge, helping predict future outcomes. This is where thinking becomes visionary. Systems of thought don't mean solving everything, but seeing things on multiple levels: surface, structure, feedback, and evolution. When you realize every thought, emotion, and outcome is part of a larger pattern, your perspective shifts. You become observant, not impulsive. Thinking becomes understanding and interconnected reality. This is the essence of systems of thought. Dimensions of perspective, reason, and paradox, beyond the evidence, intellectual transcendence, the aware mind. Dimensions of perspective. There's no single way to see the world. Every person creates a different picture based on their understanding and experiences. A critical thinker sees from multiple angles, fostering empathy and flexibility, reason and paradox. Reason has limits. Paradox teaches us to embrace contradictions like freedom and discipline for deeper understanding. Beyond the evidence. Evidence guides but limits. True thinking goes beyond intuition and awareness, accepting that all knowledge is incomplete. Intellectual transcendence. Thinking transcends when it watches itself, freeing you from ego and turning knowledge into a conscious flow. The aware mind. This mind observes thoughts as a witness, balancing reason and intuition, living with stability, and seeing every experience as a lesson. If you enjoyed this journey from illusion to awareness, like, subscribe, and comment on topics for the next video. Your suggestions shape our next direction.